my hyper-competent NPC, who only existed after the last session, is able to tell you some of these things. I'm not going to make you make rolls for these things because don't know the rules for how NPCs or foes know things or not don't involve me rolling any. So she will be able to tell you that serpentines apparently love paperwork, and there is you can see it is the Chandri family who were involved in procuring from somewhere hydro teeth and selling them on. And anyone who would like to make a memory roll who has met lots of serpentines recently might well be able to determine if they have met any serpentines whose name is Chandri.
All right, so memory. I got it here.
I think terrible. Well, inferior.
I got a great roll on that.
And what did those tattoos and scarifications on those serpentines look like to you?
You must have been able to recognize that some of the serpentines who've been causing you trouble recently are from the Chandri family.
Can you spell that? It's Chandry? Is that what you're?
Chandri.
Okay. And obviously well,
there are 4, I believe, 3 main families within 17.
Note the setting mastery on the part of Ross.
I said 4 because there are 4 eggs in the legend, but the 4th egg is what the inferior egg that birthed all people who are not. It's only a short book. It's not like trying to memorize, the entire Forgotten Realm.
No, that's true. But I just found the Chandri family, so the symbol is 2 hands.
Ooh. You see, I don't have that level of detail at my. But the paperwork is much less comprehensive on the nomad side. Much more concerned with ensuring that a mistrustful party on both sides make payments and receive payments and get their delivery before anyone gets any gold. The main agent on the other side is someone called Hakim.
Called who?
Hakim. Hakim.
Does that sound familiar to anybody?
Well, if someone would like to make a roll who has other nomads who they've known
before.
It is possible you have heard that name before. The only person who I think is likely to recognise the name is Girl. So, Girl, if you wish to make a roll, you certainly.
Another memory roll?
Let's make that memory roll, yes.
I got a passable result.
Passable is more than enough to remember the name of the person who first captured you and made you a slave. The nomad responsible. I believe he appears in your backstory and may have been horribly injured by you.
Because that never
Could it be the same Hakim?
Well, and I also know that, the Numair is also involved in my enslavement. He was
he was your actual owner, dude.
I believe you were sold on from one to the other.
Right.
After your vicious attack proved how dangerous and therefore how useful you could be.
Mm-hmm.
If I am recording your backstory correctly.
Yes.
Let's flip back through the handbook of Wolverine backstory and figure out, Let's see, the amnesia was here, and then that happened, and then...
Well, there is an awful lot of amnesia in Girl's backstory, but not on this occasion. Right. So, the memory rolls. As I said, Eve is very unimpressed with all this unnecessarily Baroque shenanigans, and is tutting and saying that Puck is just, as usual, getting unnecessarily pleased with his own intelligence, and perhaps he needs bringing down a peg or two. And she smiles and looks up at you, young ladies who have gone to tea.
Certainly. I would love to be involved in any such activity. Um,
And at this point,
With
the
the
GM feels he
primary
has
interest-
dumped enough stuff on you.
I'm sorry?
Sorry. At this point,
Yeah.
the GM feels he's probably dumped enough stuff on you, so feel free to actually, have character time and do things.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it's kind of,
I will shut
at
up.
this point, it's just a question of what do we actually want to do? Because, girl, if you wanted revenge, now would be the time. I don't know if you've left that behind or not.
I certainly had hoped to leave it behind, but it seems like it doesn't want to be left behind. It keeps following me, and I'm really starting to think if it's trying to follow me, that maybe I need to deal with some of it and put an end to it.
I mean, ultimately, the question is whether we're willing, some of us or all of us, for this to be our last day.
Oh, that's very dramatic of you. Are you getting an itchy elbow again, or are you just...
Well, that's what I'm...
Yes, give me an augury roll. Let's see how you feel about this.
Okay.
As people walk into this.
That... Why do I bother looking? That's inferior.
Inferior. Well, it could be worse.
No, my elbow's fine.
After the night you have had, you can be excused for not knowing which feelings are.
Well, I can't tell.
From panic and terror.
I can't tell if my elbow is itchy or if I'm just hungover, but I'm just saying, if we want to take dramatic action at the court of the Elven Queen, potentially we're not walking out of there.
But also, potentially, we could finally find a position in this world whereby we can be who we are without just pinballing around and finding our feet all the time.
Right. But how do we do that is the question. Because we've got all this information, but will anyone care?
Well, that's the question. I mean, we can present, well, there's several different things we could do. One, we could just present the information to the Queen as part of our audience petition type thing. You have a way with words. We could learn whether the Queen cares.
True.
After
Is
all.
Eve still here?
Unless you want to talk about this in private, she is here and listening. And
I
Eve,
bet she's listening.
tell us about the Queen's character as a person.
well, obviously she's been.
Is she good or bad?
Is she good or bad?
I'm saying, I think you should ask the Queen herself.
Oh, I
Yes,
get you.
no question. That's what I'm asking.
Oh, yeah, I get you. I get you.
Well, so the Queen is. Some people. I mean, it's a role. Some people suggest recently she's become more concerned with rumored lovers than she is with ruling the empire. Perhaps she grows tired after so many years in charge. But equally,
Well, that's
many
what
have
they say, but anyway.
anyone who meets her in person seems overawed by her wisdom, intelligence, her empathy.
Wait,
And
have it. Maybe I'm confused. Eve used to have Puck's job,
yep,
but she doesn't. She's still kind of at arm's length from the Queen, and
Something
Puck
tells
is
me
also.
Eve isn't going to
let's give you a.
Eve isn't going to give out this kind of assessment to just.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Also, yes,
Fair enough.
and there's also
Fair enough. Okay.
also Puck does not report directly to the Elf Queen. Puck reports to one of her counselors on the Sealy Court.
Oh, okay. So there's a.
Whose name I have written down. And we'll give you just because he is called Hevane Deathbone.
Sounds like a swell guy. That would
Want to
be.
know more about him? That would require a roll.
There's no possibility that I could.
Good what?
Succeed in a role to know about in Sealy Court. I don't think.
Well, I don't know. You've been living in an elven city for several months.
True.
I might even give you a column shift for that.
All right.
Probably just the knowledge roll, which obviously is great.
Okay. Yeah, that's the problem.
But if you make enough rolls, numbers go up.
My knowledge isn't that bad.
You can both make a knowledge roll if you're interested in that.
All right. Fine. I'll make a roll. Well,
You get a +1 column shift because it feels like, apart from anything else, despite her better judgment, Christabel is interested in
okay.
politics and politics.
Well, yeah. Well, I got
That
a feeble,
helps.
so
I, on the other hand, rolled a passable, and with a column shift, that puts me in good.
Yeah, okay. I can tell you about Evan Deathbone. He is a she, I believe. Let's check.
That's not a surprise.
I'm sure Christabel's like Hevane Deathbone, the rock singer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, sorry, my mistake. He is an elf. Sometimes known as the High Judge. One of the more senior members of the court and oldest elves in existence. Oh, and it's a she rather than a he. I've noticed that. That will teach me to make assumptions about the sort of people who are scary and
They're in the book.
running.
Oh,
Yes,
there he
well,
is. What I'm saying is that maybe what we should do is just go and ask the queen how she feels about this and expose the whole damn thing if she cares.
Sure. Yeah.
that sounds like a thing you can do.
Feels very cast your fate to the windsy.
Who are we talking to?
Yeah. All right.
Eve will tell you that this is certainly possibly a sensible approach. She might warn you to consider whether you have a backup plan if it doesn't go well. But
Well, I mean, what could not go well actually mean in this case? I mean, what would that actually mean? I mean, I really don't think it's the whole sort of thing of seize them and cast them in the dungeon situation. I don't think.
no,
Now
she says. But I would
wish
warn
we
you.
didn't kill the demonologist, because now we could have a demonologist on our side. But wait, girl, you have the scary demonology book or thing or token or whatever, didn't you?
I believe.
Yeah,
she
I
has a
have.
whip.
I have the bullwhip,
Right.
which is not just a bullwhip.
Right.
I mean,
Hmm. Did you save up enough points to start becoming a demonologist?
well, I have some in reserve for that purpose, but I don't have enough yet. So,
Okay. What I'm saying is that we could think in terms of a backup, but do we mean a backup for escape, or do we mean a backup as a secondary tactic? Do we mean as a backup for a completely different goal? I'm going to follow your lead in these things. I'm a woman of action, but not necessarily a woman of goals.
Well, look, all I can do is talk to the queen and get what I can out of her. I mean, we can get everyone. Okay. We get the Ruamites because they can testify to conditions on the ground and hopefully try to touch her heart. Assuming she has one. I don't, like I said, Eve is very evasive on that subject, but we'll find out, I guess.